Good morning and welcome to the edition. Now, we don't know what your ambition is in life, but hey, ambitions, they say, is the path to success. So persistence is the vehicle you need to arrive in. And yeah.
So as you tread on that path to success, make sure you're consistent with all the effort that you put into it.
Absolutely.
Most importantly, make sure you take us along with you.
Yes, indeed. Now, they say if you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, you have to go with, people.
Yeah,
and that's
true.
why we're here. But of course, hey, this is our career that we've chosen, and we've chosen to go it with everybody else, and with plenty of success. We're motivated each day by our presence, one and the other. And of course, we're hoping that that does the same for you as well.
We have a lot of hopes, though, hoping that every word that comes from us puts a smile on your face.
Absolutely.
Because smiling is apparently the best way to face every problem and hopefully crush every fear and hide every pain.
Absolutely. Now, for one person who's going to help you crush all that fear, or perhaps maybe even the reason why you should be afraid, is like Mike calls her. What does Mike call her again? Upcoming beast.
No. Mother of dragons.
I am
That is
the dragon lady.
Yes.
For every time that I open this mouth of mine, it spits fire. and it speaks lies. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't know if they can hear Mike in the corner shouting, keep quiet, keep quiet. But yeah, Mike is somewhere lurking around.
Because he's afraid.
Like Titi said, he is definitely afraid.
Oh, come on, lady.
Do you see him anywhere around here?
Positive energy
Do you see
for
him
Tuesday.
here?
Positivity.
How you all doing, by the way?
We're good. How you doing? How's everything at home?
Yo, what?
Fantastic. I'm asking how everything at home's going.
Great.
Fantastic.
Great,
Good to see you after the long weekend.
Aww.
Yeah. We're
like
going to
you
be
missed me.
doing quite a lot of, talking and catching up with MM in a little while. Make sure you stay right there. This is Family Entertainment, certified to entertain you in every way. Titila Oyinson here.
Of course, Mazino Appeal is my name. Stay with us because we've ensured that you enjoy this experience. And that's our job here. We wake up every single morning bright and early just for you.
Yeah, you can stream our show live at tvcentertainment.tv or on Facebook at TVC Connect.
Also, you can download the app so you can carry us with you anywhere you're going. That's on Google Play Store and, of course, on iOS. Anyone? Oh, by the way, follow us, please, okay?
Yeah.
We're at TVC Connect on all social media
I
platforms.
can't wait to see those comments, especially about MM's look today, I have to say. Yeah.
She woke up like
all
this.
the comments, please give them to us. Nice and sweet, please. All right, what we have on the show today, we're kicking things off with an interesting conversation with Kelechi Chioma. She's an author, educationist, life coach, and is also the founder, is also the founder of Scrabble and Chess in Schools Initiative, a program designed to promote creativity and out-of-the-box thinking in children.
On health, Dr. Omolabake Akunubi, a physician with over 16 years medical experience, would be here to tell us about other respiratory diseases and allergies that can be confused with asthma, and how to tell the difference, by the way. Now, she's an asthma advocate with a good understanding of the Nigerian healthcare space. She is passionate about reducing the morbidity and mortality of asthma in Nigeria and Africa at large.
So, I have a question. How can I get my child to listen to me? Now, that question is one many parents are asking themselves, and hopefully Ochuko Daniels will be helping to provide some answers for you on our parenting blog today. Ochuko is a dynamic entrepreneur and professional early childhood practitioner, passionate about child development.
JFC, Just for Christ. Born Felix Okorodudu is a singer-songwriter, producer, and also multi-instrumentalist, and is known for his electrifying guitar sounds. He'll be here for a musical performance.
And finally, Ogunjofo, popularly known as Father of Nollywood, is a multiple award-winning filmmaker, actor, writer, and publisher. His feature film, Amina, which remains the first and only Nigerian film to make it to the top 10 global on Netflix, received 13 nominations at the 2022 AMVCAs, including most prestigious overall film in Africa. We have lots to talk about with him. He'll be here soon. All right, guys. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Yeah.
Morning, Mike.
I brought something to show and tell.
What is that?
It's a phone case.
It's a phone case?
Made with Ankara.
Oh,
Yes.
dear. Did you have to buy that at a thrift store?
No.
Where
One
did
of
you
my
get it?
daughters sewed this with her sewing machine.
Oh, it's from your daughter. It's fantastic then.
Of course, it's fantastic. She went through a lot to put this together. She said, Mommy, you have to show everyone on air. And I said, okay.
That is very nice.
I'm doing this to encourage her, you know, and
That's beautiful.
her journey.
Was it Amber or was it Ruby?
I know will understand that joy. Will understand that joy of creating something brand new. Yes, especially
from the kids, when the kids do something new.
Use it, exactly. After today, use it.
Before.
Use it.
Who said I will not?
If it's Amber or Ruby, anybody, I want one, please.
You want one?
And I'm good. I want one.
Oh,
yes,
so
I want
you
one.
know
what the kids do. Oh, okay, yeah, we have to.
We have to wrap it up, I'm afraid. But loads more coming from the stables of Amber and Ruby Couture.
It's a lovely Tuesday morning. Thank you so much for joining us on the news on Wake Up Nigeria. I am Kelly Egiga. We begin with Nigerian politics, where the governing All Progressives Congress, that's the APC, has commenced the screening of its presidential aspirants in the nation's capital, Abuja. This move is in preparations for the party's presidential primary schedule for 6th to 8th of June 2022. Abidas Lawal has more in this report.
The ruling party has changed its timetable several times since its release date for party activities in March. Screening is part of the routine adopted by political parties to decide whose name appears on the ballot. This process happens in each election cycle. The Independent National Electoral Commission had urged political parties to ensure that credentials of candidates vying for political offices under their platform are diligently screened before presenting such candidates to the Commission. The APC has now begun screening its presidential aspirants, and the 2-day process will see all aspirants screened.
Questions were asked, appropriate questions on how do we fix the challenges in our nation, and appropriate answers were given to them. And I think, by God's grace, we are pleased that we had something to offer this nation. It's a critical moment in our history, and nobody wears any Mizani complex to say, I have all the solutions. But we did say to them that we assemble the best, the brightest, the fittest, from within the country, north and south, and from outside of the country, those in the diaspora.
Because every child is different. So that I'm already very used to managing things like this. And when it comes to insecurity, part of the reason we're having insecurity is mismanagement of the grassroots. So I'm going to start from the grassroots to teach these children how to love, to be loved, how to belong, and this way I can change the narrative of the party and the narrative of the governance by involving them.
I think the exercise went well. There are the questions I expect them to ask. There was an X-ray on my personality, cross-checking the credentials which I submitted, and a few other questions. Selling myself to the public. They are not unusual questions. They are very fair, and I think I'm happy with my performance.
The arrival of one presidential aspirant caused a stir at the venue of the screening. The aspirants billed for the screening include Bola Tinubu, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, Rotimi Amechi, Godswill Akpabio, Ogbonnaya Onu, Rochas Okorocha, Ibikunle Amosun, Tunde Bakari, Ben Ayade, Dave Umahi, Kayode Fayemi, Emeka Nwajuba, Ken Namani, Yahya Bello, Badar Abubakar, and Ahmed Yerima. Habida Lawal, TVC News, Abuja.
And the French Open does it for us here on the news at this time. I'll be back on the other side of 8 with more top stories. I am Kelly Egiga. We urge you to keep it here on Wake Up Nigeria, the premium breakfast show in all of the continent. Good morning.
All right, then. It's time for us to take a quick look at what's happening on the covers of the dailies this morning. And we're going to do that right now. We're starting with The Nation newspaper. Today's Tuesday, March 31st, 2022. What Tinubu told APC screening panel by aid. Former Lagos Governor Amechi Umahi Bakare, 8 others screened Oshimbajo, Lawan, 9 others face Odige Oyegun panel today. Jonathan not listed. Businessman arrested over importation of fake malaria drug. Page 2 has more on that. Just beneath the masthead there says 2023 polls rising food prices threaten economy, say IMF. Above the masthead, EFCC charges Okorocha with 2.9 billion naira fraud. Senator files 1 billion naira suit. And Titan Trust completes acquisition of Union Bank. Why I visited Wike Saraki Tambuwal, according to Atiku, and Peter Obi picks Labour Party presidential ticket. Page 5 has more on that story. What else do we have there? Right at the bottom, it says abductors free Methodist prelate, 2 others, and 11 injured in Kogi. More information on page 2. Now, we're moving on from this particular paper at this point. We still have quite a few papers with us this morning. We have The Punch up next. Presidential primary screening. APC questions Tinubu, Umahi, Bakare, others on foreign citizenship consensus. Demands answers on bankruptcy, aspirates records with EFCC, ICPC, and CCB. Party snubs NDLEA's request for drug test, however. And I presented my manifesto to panel, says Borofis. And Atiku worthy, but PDP days are gone, says Bakare. Buhari to receive screening report. Right at the top here, it says manufacturers spending on alternative power soars to 425 billion naira. Disco's boycotted. I can't be second-class citizen, says Wike. Atiku begins reconciliation. And some people following Atiku have no electoral value, according to Rivers governor there. Page 2 has more on that. This is the last one I'll take. It says airfares surge by 52% over Forex and Jet A1 crisis. And Nigerians buy 68.19 million SIMs in 4 years, according to NCC. And that's all we have on the cover of The Punch and indeed on the covers of the dailies at this point.
Welcome back. Now, right after fitness, let's get right into the scheme of things for what's up and about. And today we have a very interesting conversation, which has been from the middle of the weekend up until yesterday. Mr. Sabinus, or the comedian, Oga Sabinus, yes, is suing a beverage company and also food company for 1 billion naira and 100 million naira respectively. Now, there are 2 cases. One for the use of a trademarked word or group of words, something ooge, which was used in a campaign by the beverage company, only this time it was graphic. And then another one for his semblance, which was used for the foods industry, foods company. Only this time it was a different graphic. It wasn't exactly him, but it was in his semblance. Now, everybody's talking about this and wondering how far this lawsuit will go. He's suing for 1 billion naira and 100 million naira respectively. That's something huge. So let me say that. But let me land, Emma. Okay. Let me end. There are 2 things, however. You can't say that, hey, you guys have exploited me, you've taken my intellectual property, and there's another thing, it's a totally different game when it is actually trademarked or patented, and that's the issue now.
I just needed to add that he's saying that, his manager has come forward to say that his manager has come forward to say that August Sabinus is not the one suing here. It's his talent managers. It's talent manager or it's talent management company, which is managed by someone else that's actually suing these companies. Okay. So they've stated that already. But so far, we've not heard anything from Sabinus. Sabinus has been quiet through all of this.
They are suing on his behalf because it is likeness. So it's about the same thing with image rights. Recently, there was the case of Kylian Mbappe, a footballer who wanted to move to a club, and the club said, we'll give you 50% of your image rights, and now wanted 100%. Now, on those image rights, the company, if it is done in legal framework, the company has some part of the money from that image right. So, yes, they can sue, but then putting it on to that way, they cannot sue without his own agreement. He has to agree or consent, exactly. But, you see, the point now is that we're talking about the trademark. Under what class did he trademark it? Good. Because someone, I remember when there was the issue of a book. There's also, I don't even remember, there's something about Sorosuke. There's a book that's out there somewhere.
I saw that too.
And maybe we'll talk about it some other time. But I know that book titles cannot be trademarked. But then in some regards, like you said, So what if I came up with a book and wrote the book? I said something huge.
Yeah.
So that's where it comes in that patents work in different classes. Like you mentioned.
Now let me elaborate on that. Now it was trademarked under the Class 35. Under Class 35, you have financial institutions and everything financial and all. So what this means is somebody else from another industry can actually still use that statement.
Okay.
So you can use something which even if you are a beverage brand, but you cannot use it if you're a financial institution.
So he trademarked it when it was used for a particular job he did, right?
I said, yeah.
Yes. What particular industry was that?
That was real
financial.
estate.
It was financial?
Was it real estate? It was financial.
Real estate.
Aha. So
Real
you're
estate. Let me check
saying...
on that one
So
now.
I understand. Maybe that's where there might be
Yeah,
issues here. But the
yeah.
point is that if it is under a particular industry, it can be used according to the rules. Mazino, right?
Yes,
That's what
indeed.
you're
You
saying.
are correct. Insurance, financial affairs, monetary affairs, and estate affairs. That's under Class 36, actually.
Yeah.
So you are correct.
Yeah.
So, you know, one thing I learned over time is that with advertising agencies and companies like these who have they spend a lot of money on these campaigns, right? But at the point that they're doing it, they bring you in and they expect you to work for them on many different levels. In Nigeria, they take advantage of a lot of people. If you have great management, like it seems like Oga Sabinus has, they will take note of some things and help you out. But there is that little black book that some of them keep by the side and say, this particular artist or this particular talent, the person get wahala. A lot of people don't speak out because they expect that, okay, down the line, if I'm looking for another gig, I
was
might
coming
not
to
get
that.
it.
Yeah, I was going to say that because we've seen a case, especially in the entertainment. Let me not even streamline it to just the entertainment industry. We've seen where people have been exploited.
Yeah.
We've seen people's intellectual properties being taken for because they didn't do due diligence. Due diligence meaning they did not, register their trademark or register their business or register their brands.
Yeah.
Which, of course, this helps to, protect. Your brand legally. So if in this case the talent management is saying that okay, this is trademarked to this guy with evidence. I think it is time that the companies came forward to say something because we've also seen cases where other celebrities have been trademarked and these brands that want to work with them or these companies that want to work with them actually, they're not just using their image now, they're also using everything that they represent
Under the
and
facts
they
that
pay for it.
Are presented, he may not have a case on both counts, actually. I just wanted to put that out. That said, it is a good thing that somebody's actually putting a foot forward and saying, now, when it comes to intellectual property, you can't just exploit people. That's fantastic. That's a subject that should be raised because we've seen a lot of that going on. However, I also think that he's keeping mum on the issue as a person is also a strategic move. Just in case it works out, hey, it's 100 billion in the purse. If it doesn't work out, hang on. If it doesn't work out, then I didn't say anything. It's represented.
Because in the future, he would also want a lot of. Sorry, darling. He would also want to work with a lot of brands, and this could 50-50 affect his brand positively or negatively.
Mostly negative.
It's in the court of law, right? Let the law take its due course. I think that's it. That's just what we have to do. You let the law take its due course. If we're going to say, let's believe that the justice will prevail.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to wrap it up by saying, before taking the legal route, make sure you do your due diligence, as MM said, but then also see if you can bring people to the table to discuss it first. Just because of that little black book.
Seek legal advice.
Don't ruin your brand, is all I say. Be very careful.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for joining us. Do stay tuned. We've got more inside of Wake Up Nigeria.
And we're back, people. You're still on to Wake Up Nigeria. With me in the kitchen this morning is Chef Emily. Hello.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Good morning. You have this brightness that you bring with you. Welcome.
Thank you
and
very
this
much.
morning she'll be teaching us how to make cupcakes. I love cakes. Are you a cake lover? Well, Chef Emily is here for you if it's something that you'd like, to make for the kids, because they love cupcakes, don't they?
Yeah.
Yes, they do. Yes. Well, Chef Emily is here for you, and you are right on time. Yes, let's talk about the ingredients for our cupcakes this morning.
Okay, so we have sugar.
Okay, so I'm just going to pour that in a plate.
Okay.
So go ahead.
We have sugar, we have butter.
Okay.
And then we have oil.
All right.
And we have flavor.
Flavor? What flavor are we using?
Yes, I'm using milk.
Oh, the milk, what do they call it?
Milk flavor.
Flavor, okay. And what else?
Then I have eggs.
Okay. which we're going to use. How many eggs are we using?
3.
Okay, great. And so now let's talk about the process for the recipe this morning.
Okay.
So now that we have all, I see, is this ginger?
No, it's lemon zest.
Oh, okay. On your screen right there, the ingredients, people. If you missed out on it earlier on, well, there you have it. You can grab your pen and paper and scribble them down. If it's something that you'd like to try out this morning, it would be nice of you to share that video with us, or a picture of, you know, making your own cupcakes. And you can tag us on our social media platforms at TVC Connect. Do not forget to use the hashtag Wake Up Nigeria as well. And let people know that, yes, you learned how to make cupcakes on Wake Up Nigeria. Hashtag Chef Emily. Yes. All right. So let's begin the process for our cupcakes. So what are we starting with?
We are starting with buttering.
Okay. Buttering.
Yes.
What's that?
Creamy.
Okay. So
how? We'll mix the butter, the oil, and the sugar together. So
okay.
We'll cream them.
What's the essence of using the butter? I mean, sorry, the oil, because you're using butter. Why do you have to use oil again?
Because it makes it to be moist.
Oh, and fluffy.
Yes,
Gives it like that spongy feel.
Yes.
See? I had no idea. And I'm sure you watching too didn't have an idea of how do those cakes come out so nice and moist and when you open it up. Oh, gosh. All right, anyways, I love cakes. So, yeah, let's get baking, or let's get, ready. Anyways, if you're just joining us, people, with me is Chef Emily, and we are please go ahead.
Okay, thank you.
And we are making cupcakes. Well, she is actually. I'm just here to learn. Yeah, just like you are watching as well. Yes. So now we have vegetable oil, right?
Yes.
Okay.
No, I'm using canola oil.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
But can't you use just any other vegetable oil?
I can.
Okay.
But I prefer canola oil.
Okay. Well, it's also a vegetable oil. Yeah, basically, yeah. So how much of that are we using?
3 of this 1/8 cup.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
This is a measuring cup.
Well, but for some of us who, because I really I don't have measuring cups. So how do I know that I'm using the right measurements?
If you want to bake, you have to measure everything. So if you need to bake, you have to get measuring cup because everything has to be measured.
Okay. In that case, if you are interested in baking, go get yourself measuring cups. They're actually not expensive, by the way, right? Those measuring spoons and cups and the rest of them, they're not expensive. They're very, very affordable, right? Now, okay.
The butter.
Is this margarine or butter?
Margarine.
Margarine, okay,
Yes.
great. So now quickly tell us, so what else is going in? We have our flour going.
Yes.
And then the eggs.
Yes.
And then our sugar.
Yes.
And then our milk.
Yes.
Flavor.
Yes.
Great.
And
yes. So of course we're not leaving you behind. You will be a part of the process here in the kitchen. But quickly, we have to head over to the couch now for some Scrabble discussion. Scrabble discussion, right? Do you like Scrabbles? Well, Mike's got you.
Yep. We have Kelechi Chioma. He's an author, educationist, and he's a life coach. He's also the founder of Scrabble and Chess in Schools Initiative. It's a program designed to promote creativity and out-of-the-box thinking in children. Kelechi Chioma, it is great to have you. Welcome.
Thank you.
We have some mystery, by the way, but then we'll talk about that some other time. We're talking about Scrabble here and Chess in Schools. How long have you been doing this, by the way?
12 years now.
12 years?
12 years. Teaching kids.
Teaching kids. Where did this inspiration come from? Have you always been a Scrabble and chess buff and all of that?
Well, I was playing with friends after secondary school. Of course, there was no light, so I had to come out and play. And so we played Scrabble from morning till night.
There was no TikTok and Instagram then.
Nothing to do. So you just had to play something. Yeah. So went to university, came back, went to youth service, came back, and was still playing Scrabble. And the idea just popped. Why not take this to schools?
Okay. Well, now, wonderful. Now, from what you've said now, how many schools have you taken this to at present now?
Close to about 100 schools, both public and private.
And private.
Yeah.
So is it like you've gone there once, or at the moment you are catering to over 100 schools now?
For the private schools, we've touched a lot of them. For the public, we worked with a foundation that actually sponsored the training of public schools. And also,
okay, so now what I'm saying is that, so when you train, is it a continuous thing?
Yes,
that
it's co-curricular.
Co-curricular. Okay, so it's something that they continue.
Yes, every term. So there's a curriculum.
From what class do they start this?
From nursery 2, upper reception, as some call it. As
nursery 2, so
young
how old
as
are
age
they?
5, 6, yes, they start playing, and they do very well.
How important is it for development of kids that they learn games like Scrabble and chess? By the way, let's start. Let me see. This was quite... So, talk to me. Yes. How important is it?
Well, scientists claim that regular Scrabble playing time or chess playing time helps the brain to form new neurons. The brain's about forming neurons and more neurons and cells. So when you do things that tax the brain, it creates new neurons. So Scrabble, chess, just perfectly fits into that.
Now, you made mention that you're doing this so much more in private schools.
Yes.
But public schools, they have not caught it as much as you think they should. What should be done in that regard?
In private schools, there are several curricular programs. They have chess, they have Scrabble, they have swimming, they have taekwondo, they have cookery. They're bringing in all sorts. They have dance, you know, but you don't find that in public schools, which is not a good thing. So the government needs to look at how they can inculcate more co-curricular programs into the public schools.
All right, so let's focus on Scrabble now. See, I also used to be a Scrabble buff, yeah, but the problem is this. My problem is Scrabble words. What is the need for a Scrabble dictionary? My idea is that when you play Scrabble, yeah, you're using it to improve your vocabulary and all of that. Why is Scrabble dictionary? Why?
Well,
why?
I remember when I started playing Scrabble, we're using the normal Oxford dictionary.
Okay.
I remember I studied it word for word. Yeah.
You did?
I could tell you that the first word in the English dictionary, the Oxford dictionary, is not even an English word. It's called an aardvark, which is a South African word, meaning an ant eater. That's interesting. Aardvark is spelled A-R-D-V-A-R-K.
Yeah.
So when you play Scrabble...
What's the last word? Can you remember?
The last word. They keep updating anyway.
Yeah, they keep updating. You're right.
Then we have the Scrabble dictionary itself.
So why Scrabble dictionary?
Because there are many words you won't find in the normal Oxford dictionary.
But Scrabble dictionary words, you can't use them in normal English.
Actually.
In what way? Okay,
for example, the word Oba, you may not see it in the normal... Oba means a Yoruba West African king, for example. You may not find that in the normal Oxford dictionary for schools. But what they do with Scrabble dictionary, they go around and get words from India, from French, from Nigeria, from Igbo, and that have become westernized. They've turned into English words, and then they add it. They keep updating these words.
What does XI mean? XI, is that...
There are many interests. QI, for example.
Yes.
ZA.
So if you're talking about lingua, like you're taking Yoruba, you're taking Russian and all of that, I can understand you're learning. But when you have words like you said, QI, XI, and all of that, how does that help me?
I'll give you an example. JO, for example, means lover.
Okay.
Joe.
So, okay.
Those words have origin. They're places where they come from. And then they added.
Okay, so you're saying that, now, why I'm tasking you on this now, you're trying to tell me that now with Scrabble Dictionary, you can have a wider appreciation of
words.
Language.
Yes,
I like that. So how many, what did I get here?
5 by 4, 5, 8, 9, 11. The first one is always times 2.
Okay, times 2.
But as a coach, you would have made a higher word if you had landed your F on the double letter. So that's where the skill comes in.
You see, because it's discussion now. You're putting them.
So that way your score gets higher.
That's why you need a coach.
So that's what we teach the kids. Make the best use of your opportunity.
Of your opportunities.
When you have opportunities, don't just take it. You have to ask yourself, is that the best move?
Best option.
Yes. So
but Scrabble is not timed. I know you also do chess. Yes. Can you time Scrabble?
Yes.
If you decide, you can decide to play with time.
They play with timer because sometimes the opponent spends a lot of time. And when you have a tournament, you want to play within a time frame.
Okay, so for tournaments, you use time.
Yes, timer, yes.
So while you play, let's talk about tournaments. Do you organize tournaments for schools?
Yeah.
We
just finished one, the Winifred Awushka Scrabble tournament for schools. Had over 250 children across the country.
Oh, wow.
In fact, the boy who won from Niger State is just 7 years old.
Wow.
And he plays very well. We've attended Scrabble tournaments all over the world. Nigeria is the best Scrabble playing nation in the world.
I like that. Has any kid beat you? On Scrabble or chess?
Well, the kids I started with, once maybe they left for secondary school and I meet them again, I can't play them. They're much more better than I am.
You know, there's something about that thing about students beating their mentors. It does happen. And I think it makes you happy.
Yes,
it does make you happy.
Especially the ones who push it. The parents encourage them to go on to play it. Sometimes it comes to talent. You see, like a child has a natural flair.
Proclivity. There's some people that this thing comes easier to them.
Not every child. That's what we say in inter-house sports. Don't just do the physical sports. Do the mental sports. So if you're having inter-house sports in your school, add chess, add Scrabble. Because not every child will be able to run or play soccer or jump. Some of them can compete mentally.
So for now, and in these clubs you do, right, not everybody is compelled to join them. So you find, is it
no, some schools run it. There's extracurricular where you have to choose to do that. But most schools who catch it, they run it as co-curricular. It's a subject.
That means that everybody has to do it.
Yes. So we do a curriculum. The school looks at the curriculum. They find how they merge it into their own curriculum, and then they certify us to go ahead. So it's like a subject, which is the vision for us to actually make Scrabble and chess co-curricular in every school in Nigeria. Look at what it's to do. It's going to create a lot of jobs for Scrabble instructors. For example, I have close to about 30, 40 people who do this with me across the schools. University graduates.
Wonderful.
Some of them,
nice.
they are university students. ASU is on strike. They are coming to hustle. Let me just teach. So it creates opportunity, engages people. So if we do that across our public schools, just for the sake of even just job creation, the impact will be phenomenal.
Wonderful. Yeah, drop your word. How many now?
That's 8, 9, 12, 13, 14. That's 28.
Yeah, we have to round up. Drop your word.
So what I do, there's a skill there. I'm going to hook up this.
You had a plan, eh? You wanted to do this. That's why you told me to put it there.
Not really, but this is what we teach the children. There's a skill to every game, every field, every endeavor. Once you understand
this guy just gave me a blow now.
you
blows. How?
Okay, now I made 2 words actually. I made fibers and blows. So I'm going to count the score for fibers and the score for blows. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15, 16, 20, 28, 29, 30, 33. So you see that it also helps your math skills too.
Definitely.
So you do the maths. Imagine a 6-year-old doing this. It pushes the child to appreciate math. So a lot of ladies who say, "Oh, I wasn't good at maths." Imagine you start playing Scrabble at an early age. You are doing the maths. You are breaking those boundaries.
We have to round up Kelechi. I wish I had so much more time. But not only for young ones, old ones, they can start playing.
Oh, yeah.
Or if you are 40 and 50, you can start.
I was looking forward to playing with Titi. I don't
Thank you so much, Kelechi. It was a pleasure. And here's wishing you the best.
Thank you.
Keep on doing what you're doing. You're doing a great job.
Thank you. Pleasure being here.
All right. That's it. Hope you're able to pick something. It doesn't only have to be for the young ones. For the old ones, you're 40 or 50, you can start learning, and it will definitely improve your neurons, as Kelechi said. That's all we can take now. We'll take a time out now. We're back. There's more on the show.
And we are back, people. Yes, you're still on to Wake Up Nigeria, and it's the kitchen segment. Yes, with me in the kitchen is Chef Emily. And if you're just joining us, we are making cupcakes. Yes, you like cupcakes? Well, Chef Emily's here for you. Now, let's talk about the ingredients for our cupcakes this morning.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So now I've already mixed the butter, the sugar, and the oil together.
Okay, that's vegetable oil, people.
Yes, I've already creamed. So I need to add the flavor and the lemon zest into it.
Okay. What does the lemon zest do for this, actually? Is it just flavor, or it has more that it does?
Yes, flavor, and it's also a preservative.
Ooh.
Yes.
Nice. So instead of getting the chemical preservative, you could just use this one.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Because it's natural as well, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true. And let's not also forget that the lemon as a fruit itself has a lot of nutritional benefits. Most of all, it is an antioxidant here, which also helps to boost your immune system, and also playing the role of activating the flavors in your cupcakes as well as preserving it, so you can keep it for as long as you want to, I think, right?
Yes. You can just freeze it.
Okay,
and
freeze,
it will last longer.
Okay, so at what point are you bringing out something?
No, I want to pour the
eggs. Okay, great. So are we using the whole eggs?
Yes.
Are we using all of it? Or we're taking out the yolk and just using...
We are using everything.
Everything.
Yes.
Fantastic. Okay.
Thank you.
Great. All right, so we're about to break our eggs now and add them in our butter batter. our cream batter, actually, right?
Yes.
Oh, great.
Exactly.
See, I'm learning those terminologies that bakers use. Sometimes it's very, very confusing. They use some terminologies and you're like, oh, what are they saying? Well, we're here to make it easier for you, especially if you're not a bake person, because I'm not a bake person. I'd rather cook than bake.
Wow.
But, yes, I actually will rather cook than bake. Yes, I'd rather go through that heat. But it's not as if bakers don't experience heat as well. Yes, they do. But there's so much technicalities, measuring cup, measuring spoon, all of that. I just want to just use my discretion and, you know, mix all of those things and put them in and, you know, cook my food. But, hey, sometimes we also, you know, like to eat cakes and cookies and the rest of them. Yeah. So our flour is going in a minute. Our eggs are going in the right there on your screen are the ingredients, people. If you missed out on them earlier on, you have them right there. You have our vegetable oil, guys, not palm oil. Vegetable oil. Yes. And, okay, there's salt. Did you add salt?
Yes.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yes, there's salt.
Okay. So a pinch of salt, people, because you don't want to, you know, go and put so much salt in your cake. And then you're wondering, what's going on? Why is there so much salt in my cake? Well, just a pinch of it, right?
Yes.
Great. Okay, so what are we doing now?
I'm adding the egg.
Okay, great.
So I add them gradually. You don't add everything at once.
Okay,
yes.
okay. So how long do you mix for?
For the creaming, when it's creamy, you can see it because the mixture will look creamy and the size will double.
Okay. And then what follows afterwards?
Pouring of my eggs.
No, I know. I mean, after this process, what's going in next?
The flour.
Okay. And then after the flour?
Because I've added salt and baking powder in the flour, yes.
Okay. And then after the flour, what's going in next? Milk. Yes. And then we're going to, you know, bake. We're going to stir everything properly, mix everything properly with our mixer.
Yes.
And then bake. Yes. Bake for how long?
200 degrees for about 15 minutes.
Okay. Well, you heard her. She said the 200 minutes for 200 degrees for 15 minutes. We have to head over to the couch now for some health discussion with Titi.
See you guys later.
I can't wait to see what you put together in that kitchen. Can't wait to taste it as well. Okay, it's time for health at this point. We have with us Dr. Omolabake Okunobi. Now, she's a physician with over 16 years of medical experience, and she's here to talk to us about other respiratory diseases and allergens that could be confused with asthma, and of course, how to tell the difference. Now, we've been talking over the past few weeks about asthma in many different ways because she is an asthma advocate and she has a great understanding about the Nigerian healthcare space. She's also passionate about reducing the morbidity and mortality of asthma in Nigeria as well as Africa. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
I have to say it's been an enlightening month, month of May. We've been doing what we can to talk about it because statistically speaking, not a lot of people understand how many people in their environment are living with breathing challenges, probably living with these challenges and not even knowing that it's actually a problem. So can we touch on some of the other respiratory issues that people could have that's not asthma?
All right. Thank you so very much, Titi. And I hope that, the past few weeks have been very impactful for a lot of our viewers, and people are beginning to realize that, you know what, they can, have asthma and, manage it. Or not necessarily cope with it, but live fully, be able to be themselves, achieve what they want to achieve and improve their quality of life, basically. Like you rightly said, yes, we always say that it's not everything that we, particularly in children, that is asthma. Okay. So you may have some other diseases, other allergens that mimic asthma. Now, asthma is a respiratory tract infection or disease. And so anything that affects that airway that, will give you symptoms like cough may mimic asthma. Okay, so, you may have those that are non-allergen predisposed and those that are allergic predisposed. Yeah. Now, when you look at the sequelae of asthma, most of the time, you find out that, particularly in children, you usually would start with something like food allergies. Okay. From there, they move to atopic dermatitis, as, all the eczemas and skin rashes and all of that. Okay. And then most times you then go to allergic rhinitis, which is also an disease of the upper airway, whereby, you know, you have inflammation in that upper airway and it comes like across like common cold, if you know what I mean. But of course, it's not common cold. That's also different from common cold. And so most of the patients that usually would have allergic rhinitis may end up with asthma. So you always say that when you have patients with allergic rhinitis, and allergic rhinitis is very easy to identify. You may have one of those patients that come across with bouts of sneezing when they have this cold that we think is, you know.
So right now there are some parents watching and their child is constantly sneezing, having runny nose, inflamed nostrils.
Absolutely.
And they just keep treating them with cold medication.
Yes, so that may be allergic rhinitis.
An allergic reaction.
Yes, because the difference is that the discharge, the nasal discharge from allergic rhinitis is just like pure water, like water, clear water coming out, just keeps coming out. It's not thick, it's not yellowish or anything, okay? And the child just wakes up in the morning. My son used to have it as a child, and you know, what you know when Juwon is awake is the bout of sneeze. I mean, it can go like 10 at a time or 20. So that's really typical of allergic rhinitis. So most of the time, we'd say that, you know, when you have those symptoms, see your doctor. It may not be the common cold like we talk about catarrh, you know, if you know what I mean. And most times we also educate doctors to say, look, when you see cases of allergic rhinitis, ask questions about asthma. Most often times than not, they may also develop asthma at some point, yes.
That's if it's not treated on time.
Not even necessarily if it's not treated, because it's, I mean, it's like a spectrum, if you know what I mean. And so most of the time, because they also, I mean, the pathophysiology, if you know what I mean, like the genesis of allergic rhinitis is very similar to asthma. The allergic rhinitis affects the upper part of the airway, while asthma affects the lower part of. So they're like sort of Siamese twins. They sort of we call them comorbidity.
When I hear of allergens, I think about environmental factors, things that could be causing the child to sneeze or causing the child to wheeze or make funny sounds when breathing. What can parents do about the environment to prevent allergens like this from coming about?
Okay, so there are two different things entirely. So you may have, with cases of allergens as a result of asthma, you know, in their own case, even when you, you know, keep your environment clean, remove carpets and all of those things, because there's something that's happened in the system of asthma patients, they would usually get triggers from, you know, what the allergens are, and then most of the time, if they're not controlled, they would have their symptoms. Now, for someone that is non-asthmatic patient, when they get exposed to allergens, what they may then have may just be common cold, and then it will resolve. Sometimes they may have some level of inflammation in the airway, and you have the common cold, which may go from mild to severe to infected and all of those things. And so usually what we advise is, of course, the air conditioning.
Air conditioning?
Yes.
What, get rid of it or turn it off?
No, always clean the filters, the vents. Keep it clean most of the time. Carpets, a lot of people have carpets. Nowadays, it's not even very common that people rug their house compared to when we're growing up, where everywhere was, you know, you had rugs and everything. And so those things as well, the sofa, you know, make sure you vacuum clean properly around you, your beddings. Okay, if you have dogs or you have pets, cats, you know, things like that, the mites and all of those things from the dogs and all of that may also cause it. Now, those are when it comes to non-allergen causes that sort of mimic asthma. Now, you have the non-allergy, which are as a result of infection. For instance, you may have something like bronchitis, which is also another common thing that mimic, that people would think, oh, is this asthma or not? That's infection of the airway, of the lower airway, of course. You may have pneumonia because all this affects the airway. So they may have symptoms that are similar to asthma. Okay, you also have what you call chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, you know, and various arrays of things that affect the airway. Now, it's also important for us to mention that, you know, some people may just have what you call the cough variant asthma, usually in children. So the only symptom that they may have is cough. So, you know, you may have someone that has this cough. They've done everything. You've done a chest x-ray, you've done a tuberculosis test, you've done everything, and this cough doesn't seem to be going away. You may need to check for asthma in those kind of patients. Yes, it may actually also be. You find out that in some of those patients, when they do what you call therapeutic trial, where they start them on some medications for management of asthma, those patients would always do well. So most times you may know that, you know what, this is the case of asthma.
I have to say thank you for doing what you could to squeeze that in there, because this information is extremely important, and hopefully we've been able to, you know, convince people to check their environment and check out for other symptoms and not just asthma. It's been a great session. Hopefully you can reach out to us with our hashtag #WakeUpNigeria on TVC. We'll help answer some of your questions. Let's take a quick break and be back with more. With all the sweetness and suavity we exude on Wake Up Nigeria every weekday, it's a wonder what fruit would best describe our team. What fruit? What do you think?
Maybe peaches.
Peaches?
Peaches. It's quite exotic. It's not something people are, you know. So I like it. Peaches is good.
So, yeah, to all of you watching, I hope you love your peaches. Hopefully, if you really want to eat part of this fruit, taste part of our goodness, of course, keep climbing because those fruits are usually at the top of the tree.
Yeah, and they will cost you a very pricey $1 or maybe 600 now.
We're at the top of the tree, people.
That's how to tell you guys that we are creme de la creme, top notch. Of course, keep it here, keep watching because a lot of sweetness is about to come your way.
Yes, so. All right then, now MM has been blowing our minds in the kitchen with the chef. That outfit, you know.
Cheesy much, Titi?
It's not, it's MM, it's not much.
I think that's the missing ingredients that we need in this kitchen this morning. You know, we need just that extra cheese on this cupcakes. Chef Emily has been amazing. Well done, Chef Emily. Our cupcakes are coming pretty well. They're in the oven. They're going to be out in a bit.
Now, you need to stay with us. We have another 45 minutes of Wake Up Nigeria coming your way. My name is Titilayo Onyiso.
Of course, my name is Mazino Appeal. Remember, you can use the hashtag #WakeUpNigeria on TVC across all social media platforms to be a part of this. The best breakfast show on Nigerian television. We keep saying that, but it is true.
We're at the top of the tree.
We're those peaches.
Yes, sir. Well, the emoji of peaches is used for other things these days.
If it goes viral, it's because of us. But peaches is a good fruit, isn't it?
It's a very tasty one. Well, if you're on the move, remember you can stream the show live at tvcentertainment.tv and on Facebook at TVC Connect.
Yes, indeed. Also, the mobile app is ready for your download on iOS or Google Store. It's all good. Now, we also implore you guys to follow us across all these social media platforms, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram as well. We're at TVC Connect.
Please, when you're tagging us with the hashtag at TVC Connect, please don't use the peaches emoji.
Oh, use all you want to.
Let's check out what we have for the rest of the episode.
Yes,
How
indeed.
can I get my child to listen to me? That's the question Ochuko Daniels is going to be trying to answer today on our parenting blog. Ochuko is a dynamic entrepreneur and professional early childhood practitioner, passionate about child development.
JFC, Just for Christ, born Felix Sokorududu, is a singer-songwriter and also producer and multi-instrumentalist and is known for his electrifying guitar sounds. Now, he'll be here for a musical performance on our set.
And finally, Oke Ogunjiofor, popularly known as the Father of Nollywood, is a multiple award-winning filmmaker, actor, writer, and publisher. His feature film, Amina, remains the first and only Nigerian film to make the top 10 global on Netflix. Received 13 nominations at 2022 AMVCAs, carting away 4 awards, including Most Prestigious Overall Film in Africa.
Welcome back.
Peaches.
Peaches, yeah. Thank you very much.
Peaches? I'm the cream.
Ooh.
It's a kill. I don't know, did you guys see the thing going on social media with Annie Dibia and Two-Face Dibia and everybody now catching feelings?
To be honest, I feel like everybody's tired, like officially tired of listening to them because it's the same old story, guys.
Let's tell you, however, the story is that she unfollowed Two-Face from off of her socials, and then people are like, it's because Two-Face is in the abroad with Peru.
There were pictures
and the kids.
of
there were
her
pictures
with the kids.
And she also had, she wrote up something on her stories about how families can be the people that will injure you the most and stuff like that. So, hey, I mean, if anybody mistook it, you did the job.
Same old.
So it's a long story.
I think after seeing that, I saw a post where 1 or 2 artists were blaming Two-Face. I think he has said at some point that he wishes all his kids came from one mother. But because now it's not about you, also don't have to think about you. Because now you're thinking about, look, the children are growing. At the stage in their lives whereby if they don't get that, if
they need their father.
Formed, if that father figure is not in their life at this particular point in time,
it's detrimental.
You might just miss it. Exactly. And it's thinking, there's quite an issue. Should I be here? One is based somewhere else. How would I go?
So I can imagine what he's going through.
It's giving him issues.
I do not want to be misunderstood when I say that it's same old story, because, and this is not me in any way faulting Annie. I'm just saying that they have so many issues that center around the same thing. And it is time that you find a way to handle it without getting us involved, because this is all we're going to be doing, talking about it, which is fueling it. It's not solving it. Well, it's putting it out there, and therefore, you know...
People can learn from it. People can learn because there's a time, like I said, he mentioned it at one point. So if you're playing around and all that, you can know that, hey, come on, at this particular point in time, there are consequences. Exactly, that's the thing. There are consequences for whatever your actions are. Causality. Cause and effect.
Well, but they're both amazing people. I just wish they could sort out most of their issues, even if not all of them, most of them.
She did blame it on an Instagram hitch, however, so let's just take that, In any case...
That's her story, and she's sticking to it.
I guess so.
Well, good to see you again. You're watching the news on Wake Up Nigeria, and we absolutely appreciate it. I am Kelly Egiga. We're staying in the nation's capital, Abuja, where former Imo State Governor Rochas Okorocha will be spending another night in the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission's custody. Now, this is coming on the day the Federal High Court asked for the EFCC to keep Senator Okorocha in their facility. Justice Inyangekwo ordered his remand yesterday, following the arraignment of the former governor in court by the anti-graft agency. He also adjourned the case until Tuesday for hearing of the bail application that's today filed by Mr. Okorocha, who currently represents Imo West Senatorial District in the National Assembly. Senator Okorocha had earlier appeared before a federal high court in the nation's capital, where he pleaded not guilty to the 2.9 billion naira corruption charges brought against him by the federal government.
Fraud was said to have been committed by Senator Rochas Okorocha and one Ayim Iyerere with the use of the private companies between 2014 and 2016 when he was governor of Imo State. The senator and 6 other defendants pleaded not guilty to all charges brought against them. Shortly after taking his plea, counsel to the EFCC, Gbolahan Latuna, asked the judge for an adjournment to enable him assemble his witnesses that will testify during the trial. He informed the court that 13 to 15 witnesses have been arranged to testify against the presidential aspirant, and most of the witnesses are outside the court's jurisdiction because of the peculiar nature of the charge. Counsel to Mr. Okorocha Okeamechi told the court that he had filed an application for bail for his client and had also served same on the EFCC. He attempted to argue the application but was opposed by the anti-graft agency, which claimed that it intends to file a counter-affidavit against the bail issued. The counsel to the EFCC also sought an adjournment till 1st June for argument on bail. But Justice Eko ruled that he would take all the bail applications on the 31st of May and directed the EFCC to endeavor to file its opposition within the stipulated time. Justice Eko subsequently ordered the Okorocha further detention till 31st May when his bail application will be argued.
So they just waited until 24th, which was the screening day of APC, and stormed his house and seized him and took him into custody without court order of arrest warrants. And they have been keeping him. So we have applied for bail because he's entitled to bail. If he's served and he didn't appear, the court will issue a warrant for his arrest, but he was not served. And they did not even take advantage of the provision of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act, which says if you can't find the defendant, you file a motion for substance service, the court will give you leave, go and put it at his house. They didn't do that.
On 24th May 2022, the EFCC invaded the Maitama residence of Senator Rochas Okorocha. They predicated that action on the fact that the senator had allegedly jumped administrative bail granted him by the commission, and also he had been invited severally to the commission and failed to turn up. Lastly, due to the order given by Justice Inyangekwo, on the 30th of May will be the last adjournment he would grant the EFCC if they fail to bring the defendant to court, made them to take that action on the 24th of May. Celestina Iria, TVC News, Abuja.
Now, on the international scene, rescuers have so far recovered 14 bodies from the crash site of a small plane carrying 22 people in Nepal. The wreckage of the plane, operated by a Nepali carrier Tara Air, was recovered in Mustang district in northern Nepal. The passenger plane was on a 20-minute flight when it lost contact with air traffic controllers 5 minutes before it was due to land. The search is ongoing for the remaining passengers on the flight. According to reports, 4 Indians, 2 Germans and 16 Nepalis were on board the plane. The search operations were previously hampered by bad weather and a mountainous terrain in the region. And that does it for us here on the news at this time. Thank you so much for being there. I am Kelly Egiga. We urge you to keep it here on Wake Up Nigeria. We are back in just a moment. Please stay with us.
I am Amina. I fear nobody.
If it was epic, that's because it was. Of course, that was Amina. And finally, here today on the show, we're joined by, the creator himself, Oke Ogunjiofor, popularly known as the Father of Nollywood.
Multiple award-winning filmmaker, actor, writer, publisher. Now, his feature film, Amina, remains the first and only Nigerian film to make it to the top 10 globally.
Oh, yes.
On Netflix. Global.
Yeah.
People.
And received 13 nominations for the AMVCA's 2022. Carted away 4 awards. You are welcome, Mr. Oke. Good to have you back again
My
here
pleasure.
on Wake Up
Thank you for having me
Nigeria.
here again.
First time you were here, we were talking about Amina, and that was when it was getting streamed on the streaming services. And we're very excited about it. I saw it. I saw everything. And I could see the work that you talked about, everything that went into it, the span of time that it took to put it together, the translations into language that people could understand, those expressions, the choice of cast. Fantastic.
Thank you.
Really, congratulations.
Congratulations.
On so many levels. Now, this must feel like a dream come true for you. For those that don't know, you spent 25 years putting this together.
Yeah.
Maybe we should give them a little insight into how that's broken down. So, how did you break down that 25 years into this production?
First and foremost, 25 years started in 1996. That was in the month of September. For 19 years, I have been on that research. I wrote to the federal government in 1996 and said to them, I can do a program in order to empower the girl child and the women. And they wrote back to me the presidency through the Center for Women Development. And so, but 2 years down the line, 98, they pulled out. They said a change of government from Abacha to Absalami, from Absalami to Obidi and all that. So they weren't going to continue with me. So meaning that all the research I did within that period with my own money, because they didn't give me a dime, I was going to lose it. So, but because I had set my mind to do something that can change the film industry and also empower women, I decided to continue with that research. So it spanned 19 years, 13 emirates, and all the historians, all the who is who in the north, all the emirs, we talked to them. But while I was doing that, I was also looking for money. And then the budget then was about 44 million naira.
Wow. 44?
Yes, then.
Then, 44
it must be
million.
more now.
A lot
wait
more.
until we tell you what it became.
I may not say. But, you know, so that was the budget then. And so nobody could give me that kind of money because they believed, except for DVDs and VCDs. Where are you going to sell this?
They weren't looking for
Is it in the same market in Ijumata and Iweka that will always pirate the movies and then the money is gone if you don't recover it within the same week? So that became a problem for me. But when I set my mind on things, I don't really move because I've seen what I want to achieve.
So you started filming when? And
I started filming then in 2015. By the grace of God, Bank of Industry and then Project Act Nollywood came up on board, and then that gave me the impetus to begin to look for money.
7 years later, you're carting away 4 awards at the MVCAs. I mean, that's just that. It's an epic story to be told. It's fantastic. I'm curious, when you heard of the 13 nominations and when it came down to the ones that you won, what was that moment like? What filled your spirit? What did it feel like?
I don't want to sound ungrateful, but I had thought that we'll win about 6 or 7 awards.
Well, that's okay.
So I wasn't really...
Amazing,
very excited there.
Yeah, well, at least to God.
Yes, indeed.
God has kept us this far, and everything that I prayed and everything that I planned, God saw them through for me, and the best thing was to say glory to Him.
I have to touch on the fact that when you started this production, there were no cinemas, right? There was no streaming services.
No, none.
So do you believe...
Even the African Magic was not here.
Yeah.
Well,
1996.
No, it wasn't.
So this dream, where did... Well, I believe you're going to say it came from God, but the zeal, that effort, that drive, where do you believe it stemmed
What kept you
from?
going?
What
Yeah.
kept you going?
I don't want to sound arrogant, but as the father of this industry, from 1992, I had always seen the trajectory of the industry. And at every point in time, I know where we're going.
Yeah.
And so when we get there and we can't move, everybody keeps calling me, whether by default. So why are we doing this? Why can't we move this a little bit further? So the onus was always on me to find the new way of doing the old things, how we can up the game a little bit so that. So Amina was actually a story I decided to tell then to move the industry a little bit from where it used to be to some place where I thought it ought to be, which is Nigerians beginning to tell African stories, our own stories, not waiting for the international community to tell our own story the way we are. So that's what gave the impetus for that.
I wanted to touch on comparisons between Nollywood and Hollywood. Hollywood being a place.
Yeah.
Nollywood is an industry, but Hollywood actually became a place, an actual location with sets and, you know, housing and infrastructure. Community. Do you think that is missing from Nigeria, or do you think we need something like
a Silicon movie
except for the economic importance, we're not missing anything.
Okay, great.
Because see, what we have done by the brand of film industry that we have is that we've liberalized filmmaking into the minds of everybody.
Yeah.
Okay. Once you have a little camera, even if it's a phone, you are a filmmaker in Africa, Nigeria.
So you see, the church is in the heart. It's not the place.
So if we wanted to localize it to one single place, then that control comes into it. But what we're doing now, there's no control. If you can tell a good story, which is why Nigerians are the ones who are making all the skits and those who cannot even make big films, making skits everywhere. Everybody's employed. So what we've done is to liberalize filmmaking. And so in the minds of everybody, in the homes of everybody, everywhere in Nigeria is Nollywood.
Grand. Now, you are, no small way, indeed, the father of Nollywood, as can be seen from your previous works. By the way, do you guys remember Living in Bondage? This is the man behind him. Of course, you can see snippets of it. By the way, that's you we're looking at. That's you, yeah?
Yes.
How old were you on that one?
Very handsome young man.
Indeed, you still are. But yes, so now, from Living in Bondage all the way many years after 2022, getting awards for Amina, what next?
Okay, fine. First and foremost, Amina is a trilogy.
Oh. Okay.
So there are 2 parts of Amina still remaining that I want to do.
2 parts?
2 parts.
Okay.
What we've done is to tell the story of Amina, the girl child, her growing up years that people do not know anything about.
Okay.
So the story about Amina that is the public domain that people know about, that has been expecting, is what we're about to begin to tell now.
Wow.
Okay. And so we'll take it up to the time where she ended, her life and the reign ended as a legend. After that, I'm thinking that in the next 10, 15 years, there's a new pace I want to set in the industry, because there are stories I've been working on for the past these 25 years. While I was with, you can imagine, I've not done really any movie except for TV productions. Because I said, if I don't make Amina, I'm not making any movie.
Wow.
So now that we've made Amina, now that the whole world have taken notice of the new level that we can do, and the time to begin to tell the stories that I have always wanted to tell, that will move industry to some place where we can be celebrated, is about to begin.
We are excited.
Yes, we are.
That it's a 2-part. There's still 2 parts of that left to go, and we can't wait to see it actually. Thank you very much. It's fantastic work.
Yes.
Fantastic work. Let's do that acceptance speech from the MVCAs, please.
Okay.
And when we come back, we'll have Zoke in our kitchen.
Very well deserved. Very well deserved. You're welcome to the kitchen. This is Chef Emily, and this morning she's made for you cupcakes.
Yes, so
you know, with the icing on top. Of course, the award is the cherry on top. But would like you to please do.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
You know how
You're
to
the experts.
do it.
Yes, indeed. They look delicious, by the way.
They do.
All right.
They do. Let's have one with chocolate on it.
Oh, wow. There's chocolate, there's fruit in there.
Yeah.
Beautiful. All right, fantastic.
So please enjoy.
Please have a bite and tell us.
Thank you. Let me go with the one with the fruits.
Fruits on it, right?
I am not sweet tooth.
Oh, okay.
So I don't chocolate. Okay.
Okay.
I think I'm like this the way it's done.
Yes, of course, of course.
Let me start here.
Take it all in.
I love it.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Well done. Ooh, wow. Okay. Thank you so much.
Norman.
Obviously.
Mike has stolen the rest of them, by the way. I don't know if you guys noticed.
Mike, what did you do?
Oh, you guys were busy.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Thank you, Mr. Oki, for being here. You're
This is
always...
delicious.
Thank you very much.
Now, tomorrow morning, we have Wonder Women Wednesday. Yes. Yeah, we get to kick the guys out of the studio.
We don't mind.
Once a week. Just once a week. But it's been an amazing show. Thank you to everyone who was a part of the show today. And, of course, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure, my pleasure.
All right, everybody.
Everyone,
have an amazing day.
Bye.